Probably very blurry and with low FPS. I don't know. Well, we'll find out, I guess. Are we actually? Yeah, we are live. Okay.
Something's happening.
Something's happening.
The first minute of us being live will just be us going like, "Are we live?"
Yeah. Hello. Yes,
yeah,
we're good. I think
I'm not showing any errors now. Okay. CPU load is low. All right. So, as I was saying, I don't know what to do. No. I was thinking.
I think
that we
still had this thing with Amy and Taki.
Yeah, let me switch over to the correct screen. Switch you guys over. Yeah, so there's a couple of things that we could do. You guys can decide to deal with the threat that is Taki. Or you can hit the streets yourself to find information and try and design a mission yourself. Or you can decide that you will be contacted by someone who will give you a mission, i.e., I will come up with something for you. And I wanted to discuss this with you, and I wanted to discuss this on stream as well, because this is something, it's new, and maybe when people will be watching this on YouTube later and are trying to figure out how the game actually works, it could help them. Before we do that, however, I think there are maybe some people who have moves in between missions, and I know Amy has one, and maybe someone else. And I want to resolve that. I think we should do your hustling move, Amy.
Sure.
Because if you miss something, that means we get complications, and when we get complications, we get cool stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, let me broadcast my hustling move. Basically, I have a bunch of side gigs. The hustling jobs that a fixer does in between missions, just sort of in the background, always the hand-to-hands, the little deals, the knowing people, that sort of, it's like the archetypal fixer move, I guess. And the ones that Amy Feedback has are, she runs deliveries, like whenever you want to transport something that is maybe a little bit sensitive, or you just want it under the radar, receive something discreetly, Amy Feedback has someone who'll handle that for you. And she also runs or has someone who manages for her a small stable of sex workers, somewhere between prostitutes and like SimSense cam girl type cam performers. Yeah. So I think, not knowing really what we're getting into this time, I am going to go with, I'll do one of each, right? So I will activate my deliveries for one job and pimping for the second job.
All right.
And how do I do that? I roll edge.
Yes.
And here we go. Not even a problem.
So that's
Easy
a
peasy.
10, yeah. All right. And that's for both jobs, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Too bad. No. So yeah, take us through what it is that you actually do on your end. I mean, you've got these people doing the work basically, but what is it that you do, and why do you get paid or get information?
I think normally Amy's quite hands-on, right? She's involved with the contacts. She'll directly organize Kawasumi, who's her delivery driver, to come and pick something up from her if she's received a package and someone wants to send it, or she'll directly liaise with the client, and and it's all very kind of face-to-face business as usual. But I don't know where we're starting, but we've been away a while, and Amy Feedback essentially faked her death. Or certainly put out the rumor that she was disappeared. Right,
Yeah.
the corpse got her.
Yeah.
So I think both of these jobs all happen through like intermediaries. So maybe one of the sex workers, Baneticat, just has a message. He gets a message that he knows he's gonna have to collect any information that's gathered and forward it to this particular email account that links to another one and passes down the chain that way. Because obviously Baneticat, aka Kenton Colgrove, is Amy's brother, which I don't know, I didn't mention, but he's also a sex worker. And I think Amy would have set something up that, when she does this, when she disappears, he'll get a message to say, not really dead, bro.
Lol, JK.
Yeah, something like that. And as for Kawasumi, I think she just deals with that remotely. Just has a proxy set up in place that will just tell Kawasumi where to go and where to collect from. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right. So you gain, as a result of your hustling, gain a cred, I think, and
I get a cred and an intel.
and gain intel. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I think, Amy, when you got back from wherever you were. No, wait, no. Let's take a step back. I reread the chapter on cred and what it is and what it does basically, and it wasn't entirely clear to me last time, but it is now. And cred literally is a combination of both credits, as in money, and street cred or reputation. So the amount of cred that you spent last time is also a measure of your reputation in the sprawl. Sort of reflecting that when you leave or when you lie low, you lose reputation because you're no longer there, and you're not able to do stuff. So that's as an aside for everyone to sort of realize that it's both street cred and money. Yeah, Amy, I think you get back, and I think you maybe start tapping your former contacts or your former channels and set up the deliveries again and the pimping and all that sort of stuff. And that probably it continued, when you were gone.
Yeah, of course. That just because Amy's out of town or dead.
Exactly.
That wouldn't stop.
No, and I think when you contact them again, saying like I'm back or whatever, they inform you. I think your brother informed you that some men have been looking for you, and they came to his place of work basically. He describes a sort of like a tall guy that you instantly recognize that as one of Taki's goons, the one that was sort of handing him the equipment from the back of the container when you went there.
Okay.
So yeah, there's people actively looking for you, and I think that when you sort of as a fixer try to contact people again and get a feel for what's going on, it's very clear to you that Taki is looking for you, and he's been spreading the word that he expects Miss Feedback to keep up her end of the bargain, or else.
And remind me, what exactly does he want doing? Because I don't think he was very specific.
Well, no, he was. So you went there to get some gear, basically, right? Or a key card, or no, what was it? Something. You went there to get something. And you got it. And it was expensive, and there was a catch. And the catch was that he was being hassled by a transport company outside of our major Mitsuhan Corporation. And they've been sort of working on the down low, and they, as has he, obviously, and not willing to pay Mitsuhan's exorbitant fees, and they've been trying to, shake him down basically. They've been losing some of his shipments or holding them back, and they've been sort of harassing him for more money and for more favors, etc. And he wanted them out of the picture.
Okay.
And
that seems reasonable.
Yeah, so the way you'd solve that's entirely up to you. He just wants nothing to do with them anymore. That's basically it.
Who are they?
I think I gave you a name last time and I forgot. So I
don't remember either.
No. So let's see. This is all coming on stream now. That's okay. That's the downside of me hosting this, is that stream can sort of look at things that I'm clicking at. Yeah, I think it's Shalway Shipping. And that's all. He gives you a name. I think that's all you know. You don't know where they're operating from. You don't know who or what they actually are.
There's bearing in mind, like, I'm in the deliveries business. Amy Feedback is owned by Mitsuhan. And I don't know who these people are. Like, that doesn't sound like a very connected fixer.
Yeah, so I think that Taki is a man who is very careful with whom he works with. And obviously made a mistake, because otherwise he wouldn't have this trouble with them now. But that's sort of, I think it indicates that this company, this Shalway, is just either very, very small or very good at hiding their tracks.
Right. I mean, that sort of explains why Mitsuhan haven't just like obliterated them.
I guess, yeah. I mean, and of course, don't forget, you can spend intel and find out something about them. You can do research on them. You can do, right? So, but right now, as sort of as a freebie, you don't really know anything about them.
Right. Well.
So, just as friends assemble? Away!
No, I don't know. I think we see. And does Taki actually try and get in touch with Amy directly? Like, he's looking for her.
Yeah, so I think this is just as you just got back, right? That's what you find out. So I didn't really want to start you out with you've been back for a couple of weeks and this is what you heard, and now he's at your doorstep. But I think he would be, of course, yes. But that's up to you if you wanna do that, or.
Yeah, I think the scene opens on Amy's flat, and it's very early in the morning, and there's sort of pinkish light coming in through Venetian blinds, and you can see like all the dust motes in the air. Obviously, someone hasn't been here for a while. You know, there's a sort of thin layer of dust. Like, we hear the sound of a shower turning off, and over like someone walking towards us. We're focused in on an unmade bed. It looks like someone's slept the night here. On the bedside table, there are 2 mobile phones, and one of them lights up. And there's the buzzing of that vibrate sound you get when something's on a counter. And Amy Feedback, wrapped in a towel, walks into frame and looks at both of the phones. and then opens the drawer in the bedside table. And inside a small box in there, there's another 2 or 3 phones. And she pulls out the one that's actually ringing. And I'm thinking it's Takikichi.
Yeah.
What do you want? I'm back.
Where have you been?
Things got a little hot. I had to lay low for a while. Sorry about that.
Sorry. We had a
I'm
deal.
sorry.
We had a deal, Amy.
Our deal's still good.
That's
we made
what
a
you
deal.
think. I'm in deep shit now, Amy. What are you going to do about that?
Sounds like it was a situation that you walked yourself into way before I came along. I've offered to help.
There's a long pause at the other end of the line, and maybe you hear so like the hand gripping the horn really tightly, like that plasticky crunch.
Yeah, creak.
Yeah.
Plastic.
And he says, "Is it necessary for me, Miss Feedback, to have my men pay you or your brother a visit? Because they can. You want them to. It sounds to me that you want them to."
Don't threaten me, you fucker. I'm on your side here. I've been away. Our deal's still good. I intend to make it right. Let me do that.
You better make it right soon, Amy.
Tell me what you know.
I told you what I know. I thought
I
you
can't
were the
work on that.
You are the
You're-
one with all the contacts, Amy. You work it out.
You're getting hassled by some company you don't even know who they are.
I know who they are.
Where are they? Tell me.
Where are they?
Okay. Let me help you. Don't make this any harder than it has to be.
This is where you roll something, I guess.
Sure.
Because he obviously doesn't want to tell you anything.
Why? It's like so obviously in his interest to give me everything he knows.
Yeah, and at the same time, he wants to make it difficult for you. I'm not sure if there's actually a...
He wants to have a reason.
Yeah, it sounds like it, but he's fucking himself. Like if he's really in deep shit, I think if he's desperate, he'll do whatever he has to.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the thing. You can find out more about him if you want. You can assess. You can assess that.
It sounds like a leverage game at this point. I mean, he helped Amy, and Amy's supposed to owe him.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Amy really is fixing it around again to make it sound like she's doing the
The
favor.
thing, the way I see it, and the way I think Taki sees it is that you promised him something, and he told you what he told you, and that's it. That you're gonna have to work with that. And if you need to know more, then that's possible, but that means you're gonna owe him more, right?
No.
And exactly, no, yeah, of course. But and as far as you're concerned, he tells you he's in deep shit, but maybe he isn't, right? And there's no way of knowing that.
True. I've been back like a day,
Yeah.
so
He just I think what you know of Taki, I mean, he's your contact. You've heard of him from other people. Taki is a man who is very keen on people holding up their end of the bargain.
okay.
That's what you know.
All right, so I think like
So you
Is
can
our
you can try and
conversation
fast talk
continue?
him. You can try and fast talk him into more information. If you want.
sure, I suppose.
I mean, that's the thing that you're basically doing, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I think
We can
I'm
also
trying to
treat
game-
we can also
I'm trying
treat
to-
it as getting
yeah.
the job.
Oh yeah, right. Like it could be the job. I don't know. I'm just not that interested in it, to be honest.
I mean, if you're not interested at all in
Are
it,
you?
then we
Yeah,
can,
you,
we can
yeah,
turn
you
it
do all
into
the shit, you
an
just go
operation.
click. you know.
And you can also just
Fine.
ignore it. Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah,
fine.
like he says something like, "I'll have my men pay you a visit."
If he had men,
Right, that was the last thing he said, right?
Yeah.
And I think Amy's like, "Look, don't bother. I'll come see you. Let's talk about this face to face like grown-ups. I'll be there in 15 minutes." Hangs up
Okay,
before he
yeah.
even gets a chance to
Okay,
say anything.
yeah. I think you do hear the beginnings of something that he wants to say.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so do you want to meet him face to face alone?
I think so. Like, Amy's not scared of him.
Okay.
She's dealt with much thuggier, much seedier, much tougher, much bigger, much scarier
Yeah.
groups and individuals in the past.
Yeah.
Like, her clients are corporations. So this low-level street hustler. Wait, that's me. But still.
Yeah. Oh.
it's other low levels.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Like,
So I'm wondering.
aspirations of grandeur or whatever, but
I'm wondering what the others are doing. They've been back for a couple of days or for a while. What Trip? What's your daily routine? What is it that you do when you're not lying low?
When I don't have a job
Yeah.
and
yeah.
I'm not laying low, I'm basically laying low.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Just get up late, make a cup of coffee, watch
So-
the news.
So how does Trip get jobs?
Well, he does have. Well, obviously, he's totally dependent on Bishop for that, for getting actual jobs. But he does go out and about and meet people, but on a very, he's not hustling.
All right. Yeah.
He maybe has one appointment per day.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's
Okay.
just sort of making the rounds, one speaking one contact per day, and just
All right. So Bishop, what about you? How do you get your jobs? I mean, we established last time that people can just call you and say we've got a job for you because you've got your corporate lawyer and fixer contact, Magnus. But is he the only one who contacts you, or do you actively look for jobs as well?
Well, I mean, the corporate lawyer, it's nice because that's a lot of it's above board kind of thing, and it's very much appreciated. It's just someone who smooths everything and go like, let's not get your ego in the way of making more money.
Right.
And he tends to soften up people in corps to get it happening. But that's just the above board thing. I think you also get the sneakier parts of it. A lot of that relies on network. I think these are things where Bishop has a small network, but with important people. And a lot of it is keeping contacts warm.
Yeah.
The benefits, of course, are being able to dine in upper class restaurants and out of his league, but it's what the corps can pay for.
All right. Yeah.
I think in that sense, there's a lot of image you have to uphold. So spending time Bishop-wise will be making sure to get some decent corporate clothes. I guess spending most of his money on the upper streetwear, the corporate wear.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. And Webb, I mean, you now have access again to your cyber deck. Is that the only thing you're doing? Are you spending your days in the Matrix?
Yeah, it's probably ever since he's discovered sort of this thing that's going on with with all these guys. He's not really like had his own like direction in life like that. Like when he has jobs and stuff with all this group, that's where he's like, yeah, okay, that's what I'm doing. But then when that's not happening, I mean, we saw at the end of last time he got a sort of a part-time, low-level job of him flipping burgers in the end of some back alley, fast food restaurant. Now that the lay low period has gone, he's like ready to get back. He then goes, "Oh, I guess I will wait until somebody has something for me to do." So at that point, it basically just becomes of staying up far too late, probably becoming mostly nocturnal. I mean, as much as it's ever daylight in a cyberpunk setting, anyway, he doesn't go out in that at all. Lots of takeaway, predominantly Chinese food. So lots of those, the stereotypical box of like half-eaten noodles and stuff just laying everywhere. And then when he is awake, it's just sitting at again, because his apartment he's not actually renting an apartment. It's basically one level up squatting, but it's such a janky, crap, rundown area of the sprawl that nobody really cares who or what's going on. I'm just in there, and there's a couple of like monitors and my deck, and yeah, it's mostly going from trying to see if there's any like big news. I'm probably keeping tabs on the people who are like more visual, so I've probably got like tabs on Silence, seeing what she's doing. If if she gets in trouble, I'll be like, aha, there's something to do.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it mostly goes from just frequenting message boards and basically for fun, he likes to hack into sort of basically video game servers. And he's the guy who when you're playing Call of Duty, will be like the guy flying around with the aim bots, and he just finds that hilarious.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I think Webb, that you on the message boards, probably just sort of idly sort of browsing them and just checking stuff, etc.
Closing a tab, opening the same tab again.
Exactly.
Nothing's
Yeah.
changed.
There's an alias there who well, it's a female alias basically. She looks like somewhere mid-20s with blonde hair and blue eyes and enormous eyelashes and lipstick, and she's pretty, right? Like, and if that's not something that Webb would find pretty, then she looks exactly like what Webb would find pretty.
Local hotties in my area want me. Is that the kind of thing we're looking at?
Yeah, and I think
Okay.
there's some sort of like a flag that catches your eye, and it's related to Praise Be.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. No, he's in. He's going in.
And this person, and let me grab a cool name. Cosmic. Is
The O is most definitely a 0, though, right?
yeah.
Oh, well, and the I is a 1. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She's actively looking for someone who can help her. And the details are sparse, right? It's related to Praise Be, and she needs help, and she's desperate. That's the sort of like the flags that are flying around her in the Matrix as a sort of. I imagine them sort of like a black vacuum where you just have some aliases sort of like walking around, and then there's all these sort of like icons floating around their heads as sort of tags or whatever.
Yes, like what's it called, the Miiverse for
Nintendo. Yeah, exactly,
Little
something like that.
avatars
Yeah,
around and then, like chat bubbles come up with like what they've written or what have you.
Yeah, and I think the way to sort of get in touch is just to approach and then sort of make contact. And then you sort of enter a private message service or something, if you want.
If I want, well, Webb most certainly do want. I'm just thinking about how you'd approach this. See, because because it's to do with Praise B, he's immediately suspicious. Given his history with these people. So, hmm. I think what he's going to do is he's just going to bide his time for a bit. He's going to keep if he can, just keep tracking her and seeing how, if she gets to a point where she's desperate enough to maybe put forward some more information.
Yeah.
But because I'm not. I mean, in order to get into, see her files and all those things, I'd need to how does that work in the Matrix? Do I need to know where she is physically, or is it literally just I can send her a phishing email, right? And then I could just get in that way.
I don't know. That's a good question. You tell me.
How does
I imagine that sort of through a message board, that would be difficult. I imagine that'd be some sort of especially the sort of message boards that you would frequent, there'd be safeguards against that sort of stuff, where you can just hack an alias and access all their files at their physical location.
All right. Well, in that case, I'll do just that then. I will, because I mean, okay. So she's come to a message board. She's going around. How much of a stink is she making? Is it quite? Is it literally making threads? Praise be.
No. I think it's
or...
very it's discreet. She's being very discreet, but
okay.
You could.
Yeah, I feel as though I should roll something here to see if I can identify.
If you're checking it out, then you should maybe roll assess.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's a Matrix move that involves that sort of stuff.
Yeah, no, the Matrix moves are all sort of
action
when you're in,
right? Yeah.
when you're jacked in and you're doing things. But yeah, it's okay. What's that?
That's you roll edge. Let me roll cast it.
I'm gonna phone up Bishop and say, "Hey Bishop, can you give me a job to find out about this person so I can get the +1?"
Your mission is to find this person.
There we go.
Right. Let me see. Let me find the right tab. Right. 5.
A 5. Whoops. Okay. So you don't get anything. No hold.
Yeah. Okay. So she's good.
Yes. Also.
I mean, it's not that Webb is bad. It's just she is fantastic. He's never seen anything quite like it.
Mm-hmm. Let me see.
You're checking to see whether or not anything bad happens to me now, aren't you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Thought so.
I think on your screen, or in your vision, basically, you.
If I get a virus, I'm going to be very upset.
You don't get a virus, no, not yet. Yeah, there's you get one of those. Remember last time we played? There's these Altered Vistas commercials in the hallway where these all these ads. Out of nowhere, in the middle of your vision, one of those TVs appears, and the screen sort of pops into view, and there's a couple of students. And in the background, you see the Altered Vistas campus. And they're talking to each other and chatting about some sort of, I don't know, new scheme that that Altered Vistas coming up with, and that it's that is expensive, but they can always work stuff out. And then all of a sudden, the two students they face each other, and then they face towards you, and at the same time, simultaneously, they say, "We found you, Webb." And then the TV sort of pops back out.
Right. Webb immediately yanks all the cords out of all wall sockets, and as quick as he can, puts on his long, large trench coat, picks up his cyber deck, and runs out the building yelling, "Bishop!"
Okay, cool. Let's switch back to Amy and Taki, I guess. We sort of, the camera sort of fades away as Webb sort of runs out the building, arms flailing, and we see the black market that you visited last time. And we see it at daylight, not in the darkness and in the rain and the giant box lights everywhere. And it looks not as charming as it actually, looks when it's raining and in the darkness and there's lights everywhere. Now it's just a sort of like a disheveled place.
I think it's like not even open really yet. Like
there's maybe some hobos sort of in corners somewhere, and maybe some people though might have appointments with some other of the black market dealers.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear some seagulls sort of fly overhead, and when you get to Taki's container, basically he's sitting outside on one of the tables that he's got stall as a sort of like a storefront, and he's sort of reclining almost on top of one, and there's Robbie is there as well, the goon basically who visited your brother, Taki he doesn't really get up.
You look awfully comfortable.
Ah, there you are. I've been waiting for you. You're late?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I know that I'm not late, and that you're saying that to put me on edge is very telling.
It's telling, right? Yes. You know what's
going on?
Let me speak, Amy. Please.
Please.
You know what's telling and what's not wise to do is hang up on someone you owe.
I'm here, aren't I?
Yes, you're here. You should have been here 2 months ago when I asked you to do something for me and you haven't done it yet.
I'm here, right now. What's your point?
Point is,
what would you like to happen?
What I would like to happen is that you do something, Amy. I told you to do something and then you do it. You don't wait 2 months, go away on some sort of holiday and come back and say, "Oh, I'm here." That's not how things work here.
Okay. So we're clear. You'd like me to do the thing that you asked for, that you haven't been in touch with me about.
Haven't been in touch with you about. There's no way to get in touch with you, Sweetums, if you're not there.
I think like Amy can't help but smile a tiny bit. Like it's like, yeah, that means my shit works. Right? Yes. Well, that's kind of the point. I wouldn't be very much use to you dead. And things were heating up. You know how that is. Point is, I'm here now. Back last night. Let's move forwards. Tell me what you know. And I'll help you.
All right. But you better do it now. Soon. Not wait another month or a week. Is that clear?
I'm standing right in front of you. You're my first priority.
All right.
I don't know how much more helpful I can be.
So
I'm right fucking here.
He ignores that. He said, "What do you need? What do you need to know?"
Everything. Tell me everything you know. The more information you give me, the better I can help you. If you hold back,
look,
you just make things more difficult.
I can't tell you everything.
For yourself.
I can't tell you everything I know because there are some things that I'd like to keep a secret.
No, obviously
that's the way
you can't
I
tell me
operate,
everything
Amy.
you know because
but
what you know would fill a shipping container and a server.
Shipping. Xiaowei Shipping is a small shipping company.
Where are they?
They are located in the East Docks in a very small, what you call that? Like a warehouse. Like, yeah, in a small warehouse. They operate on a what do you call it? They need to know who they're working with before they'll work with you. So you
Mhm.
need an introduction. They're very good at what they do. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. You know this. Mitsan would be all over them and me and probably 30% of the people who work here if
Sure.
they weren't good at what they were doing. However, they've come under new management as of late. And the new management feels the need to enforce a new policy. And that new policy is we pay, and if we don't, then they keep the stuff that they have that is basically ours, right?
Isn't
Very-
that normally how shipping works? You have to pay for it.
Yes, but
Nothing comes for free.
No, nothing comes for free. This is true. How it normally works is we pay, we ship, we
And
get.
that's it.
We don't pay, ship, pay again, and then get. That's not how it works.
So it sounds like a protection racket, basically a shakedown.
It's a shakedown. The thing is, Amy, I'd rather not have people find out that I am doing something to them, if you see what I mean. I have my reputation to uphold.
Do you know anything about their other clients? Who's their business?
No,
How do you want to hurt them? Anyway.
How do I want to hurt them? I want you to get rid of the new management, of course. And how you do that is up to you.
Sure.
If you want to kill them, you kill them. If you want to do something else, you do something else. I don't care. I really don't care. I just want them out of the way.
I understand. Who are their clients?
As for their clients, I really couldn't tell you. I only know of one because that's the one who introduced me, and I really don't want to give you their name.
Mm-hmm. I understand. Okay. And how are they putting pressure on you? How do they get in touch?
They send over a couple of their guys, and everything's done face to face because we can't trust what's happening in the Matrix.
All right. Fine. This was what I needed. Otherwise, I couldn't do anything about it.
I understand that.
Not that I could do anything.
Listen,
while I was
I understand. I do. But there's also something that you need to understand, is that I like to test people. I don't know you. You don't know me. And this is a good way for us to get to know each other better.
Everybody knows me. And give me feedback.
That may very well be.
And like, I think at that moment she waves to someone who waves back. Like,
yeah.
It's just passing like in the street. Or like maybe one of the hobos you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Not the ideal person you want to wave to, but you know, it'll do it okay.
Yeah. He's like, all right, just get it done, okay? And then we're square. And then we maybe can do business together sometime in the future.
Sure thing.
All right. So, sounds like that's your mission. And as for getting the job, that doesn't really apply because you're doing this as a favor. That doesn't mean doesn't mean that there's no money in it at all, because you can do some creative things when speaking to other people or robbing them blind or stuff like that, right?
All right.
Creative use of hitting the streets will result in cred.
Cool.
But yeah, there's also the other issue of a certain girl in the Matrix who might need some help. It's really up to you guys. I'm not sure.
What do we think, people?
Taki has a clock. He's an actual threat.
But I don't feel it. Like I don't buy it at all. I don't think he's serious. Even though there's a clock that I'm looking at, like I think it's all talk. And I think like saying I'm gonna do something and then like that will probably be enough.
Well, what if we turn it around and we actually go at Taki and eliminate him?
I was about to say, like, do it the other way around. I mean, we don't need to. When we say eliminate, we don't need to, moiter him, but we can just, remove him as a threat. If he genuinely is as small time as you're saying he is, or as how AB thinks he is, how about we just make a bigger show of force where he's like, oh, this little company's going around messing up the stuff. Well, what if we turn up and we're like, you think they're messing up your stuff? Well, just you wait, son. Just...
Yeah, I mean, that's a point. He obviously doesn't have the resources, or claims he doesn't have the resources, doesn't seem to have the resources to be competitive with this company. Like yeah, like he might have connections somewhere, but he doesn't, like, if he did use them.
Guess who's your boy for finding out that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I think all right, it sounds like we're gonna look at this, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like
but for now we just have the mission be, or the job be, get Taki off our back, right? And depending, because if we like help him or not help him, that sort of restricts us, because if part of the whole legwork phase we end up finding out that he's actually just all this, then we're just like, all right, well, we're just going to go in and screw with his stuff. So I think we should, at this moment, the objective should be, square ourselves with Taki.
Yeah. Okay, I think Amy leaves the meeting with Taki and immediately like pulls up one of her phones and sends a message via a bulletin board service, like personals ad to Webb, knowing that that's how we coordinate.
Yeah.
To see if people are back, because I don't know, I guess we've been in touch. We can probably assume that, or maybe we're just all getting back in touch. I think maybe Amy was the most recent person to arrive. So anyway, she reaches out and lets you know.
Yeah. Okay.
we-
I
should we-
receive
should-
and
should we
immediately
take a-
fire up the bat signal.
And let's take a 5-minute break here, and then when we come back, we've all reconvened somewhere. Yeah. All right. So we'll be right back after these messages. Okay, 5-minute break here, and then when we come back, we've all reconvened somewhere. Yeah. welcome back. Yeah, the characters have reconvened somewhere. Are you guys meeting at your favorite pet store? Or
HK Scale
somewhere
Exotic
else?
Pets.
Yeah.
the back
Oh,
room.
In the back
definitely.
room of HK Exotic Pet Store, we see the same
Mhm.
crappy wooden table with all the marks in it. There's
Mhm.
some fold up chairs, like cheap plastic stuff.
Mhm.
And there's like discarded cage, like metal cages for pets somewhere in the back, and there's like it's a mess basically.
Yeah, I like to think that as we walk in, it's like kind of like while the stock itself is like, or the things itself is like kind of cyberpunky high tech. It's like really old like layout. We walk in, there's like a bell that goes ding ding, and
Yeah.
there's like I like to think there's like a really short like Chinese woman who's like sitting at a counter reading a newspaper, smoking a cigarette, and we just like, hi Mrs. whatever your name is, and she just goes, you know, and then we just go into the back.
Yeah.
She says
I
something
think
that's,
we go there like one by one, but not all at the same time.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so I think you're sort of gathered round the table, and I think Amy presents something to you.
Yeah. Thank you all for coming. I know this is a bit irregular. This would be a huge favor to me personally. But the situation is that my contact, one Mr. Takikichi, who is a technological retailer, I suppose you could say.
I think
in-
at that point Webb goes, ha!
Well, I owe him a favor. Now, I'm not sure what his connections are, but the company, his client, I suppose, Shalway Shipping, have been shaking down his shipments and presumably others. And I think Amy then like details everything that we've already heard. Talking about what everything she knows basically.
Yeah.
And suggests that if people want to do some digging and find out more, that maybe then we could formulate a plan.
I think Webb would pipe up and he'd says, something this seems weird.
How do you mean?
Like, well, first of all, as we all know, it's Mitsuhan that controls 99.9% of shipping and deliveries and all that stuff, just, across the board.
Mhm.
And the fact that there's apparently this rogue little small time people who are going around causing a stink at even if it's minor, judging by the reputation, Mitsuhan doesn't, strike me as the kind of people that would allow that to happen.
You're not wrong. But what you have to remember is that a lot of people can't use Mitsuhan. They don't have the credit. Or they want something done a little bit more discreetly. And Mitsuhan and Mitsuhan affiliated companies aren't up to it, frankly.
Is there any chance this could be some sort of offshoot of Camarilla? Because I know that those two have been at loggerheads for a while.
It's possible.
Just so happens that I have contacts in the shipping business.
Would you like to declare one?
Yeah, I'll dig around. I'll dig around about Shellway shipping and see what comes up.
Okay. And again, this
Do you
is
want to? Sorry. Do you want to do that right now and then cut back to as if you've just
I
done
think
it?
that's I think that's a good idea that we sort of we have this sort of planning stage where you guys sit around the table and then we sort of
we
do
did that last time, didn't we?
do.
Yeah, that's
I think
that's
it makes sense, right?
Yeah, it's quite it's cinematic. It's like
Yeah. It's
well,
like
it
the
just so
Ocean's 11 type
happens,
things.
like,
The camera sort of swipes to somewhere and people do suave things and we swipe back and yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
few lines of
So
cocaine
Trip,
in bathroom stalls. Wait, what?
and this is where you can also include like other characters, right? It doesn't have to be you by yourself.
no, but it is Trip by himself.
Yeah.
Trip buys a so you see Trip go into a sort of a posh supermarket or delicatessen, and he buys a large box of luxurious chocolates, and has it wrapped up nicely, etc. And then you see him walk into a sort of a private dining place, and he just walks in as if he belongs there, and as he does, and people just let him pass. At the far end of the room, there's a woman sitting at a table. She is dressed in smart corporate wear, so shirt, stockings, the blouse, the jacket, everything, and she is eating maybe soup or salad or something like that. She's eating there, having dinner. She's sitting by her own at this table, maybe looking at a tablet, reading something or something like that while she eats. And she's just finishing up when Trip gets to her table and he pulls up a chair and he says, "Well, Margaret, how lovely to see you again." And he places the box of chocolate sort of next to her her plate. It's obvious that these two have a history together. And she has cyber eyes, and her movements betray reflexes, cyber reflexes. So she looks really corporate and office type like, but probably she has in the past done the same kind of work that Trip does.
She's got some history for sure.
Yeah. What's her age, roughly?
She's maybe 2 or 3 years younger than Trip.
All right. And so, do you does she owe you a favor, or do you owe her a favor?
No.
No.
Neither. So it's
All right.
She's an unknown.
Yeah, and
quantity.
And what does she do? Right,
As in professionally,
as in professionally, yeah. What's her spiel basically?
She is a middle manager at Mitsuhan.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So you just declare the contact. That's a move you can make in Sprawl. You can every character can do that once during a session. So what is the nature of your relationship? Was it romantic? Was it professional?
Yes.
Both?
Both.
Okay. And was that a long time ago or recent, the romantic bit?
Yes.
No, that's been no, that's quite some time ago.
Okay. And did Is it a sort of did it just end because it ended, or did it end because something bad happened? I'm trying to figure out whether she actually likes you or doesn't like you at all.
She she doesn't really want to be disturbed by Trip during her dinner.
Okay.
She said, "Oh, it's him."
I'm picturing like a middle-aged Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah,
yeah, something like that.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so she's eating soup. And I think she finishes like maybe 2 or 3 more spoons before she acknowledges the chocolates first, and then sort of looks at you and she says, "Ah, sit down,
She will call him Stephen.
Stephen." All right. Ah, Stephen. Sit. Would you like some?
Stephen is already sitting.
He's already sitting. Okay. Would you like something?
No, thanks. I'm fine.
So why are you here then?
And I just wanted to see how you were doing.
Is that something that Trip does often with Margaret? See how she was doing? Or is that code for I need something from you?
Both. Let's just say that if you have an infiltrator as a stalker ex-boyfriend, that's
Okay.
going to be you're gonna have a real bad time.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that changes things.
there has been some. So she's maybe a bit unpleasantly surprised that he now turns up here.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. I think she. Yeah. So she offers you some random stuff like would you like something, probably to not make a scene at the restaurant itself because it's a fairly high class.
Yeah.
I named the restaurant the Thousand Suns, and I think there's these 1,000 obviously giant sort of light orbs hanging from the ceiling, but they're hanging from like threads that you can't really see. So it looks like they're floating around and they're sort of
Fishing
like
wire,
yeah,
basically.
so fishing wire, but it's conducting so that the light actually, that the lamps actually work, and sort of like planets, they sort of move through the restaurant. So yeah, but that alters her reaction a little bit. So she's like, so why are you here, Stephen?
A friend has a problem with Shellway shipping. You know them?
Why would you come to me?
Because you know things about shipping.
And why would I tell you stuff? I told you. And she lowers her voice. She's like, I told you to stay away.
I have this restraining order and everything.
I just thought, you could help me out for once.
Aww.
Maybe be able to help you out once or twice.
If I help you now, will you promise me that you'll leave me alone?
You're driving a hard bargain.
It's a simple request, Stephen. I need you to promise me. Not tell me. Not say, yeah, all right. No, I need you to promise me.
Why do you have to make this so hard?
I don't think it's hard at all, Stephen. It's a very simple, give you this, and then you stop bothering me. It's 1 for 1.
screw the
Okay.
mission. I want to hear all about their relationship. Like,
Yeah.
just play out this like awkward. Yeah, it's wonderful.
As we know from Mirror Shades, every cyberpunk RPG is doomed to become a dating simulator one at some point or another.
Okay, deal.
See what I can find out. I'll contact you.
Okay.
And she sort of turns slightly away from you and tries to finish her dinner, fully expecting you to just leave now. I'm not sure if you do. I hope you do.
No.
Yeah.
Stephen does.
Yeah, so maybe like a day later, you get like a video message recorded, not a live one. And it's from Margaret, and she says she's sort of low. She has a sort of lowered her voice, and she's not really panicking, but you notice that something's wrong or off about the way that she's reacting. She's like, What have you gotten yourself into, Stephen? Shaway is not just a small shipping company. I mean, we won't even touch them. But I told you I'd help you, so I've attached the names of the what they call management over there, and I've attached the location of we think that they operate from, and I also included a bit of background information, and then that's all she says. As you click the video, it just pops back to black. The information you gain is intel, basically. What I can tell you is that indeed they are operating from a small, quote unquote, warehouse in the East Docks. But what you managed to find out is that there's a somewhat larger underground complex attached to that small warehouse. It's not just the tiny hut. There's a bit more. They have ties to a major corporation, and I constantly forget the names of the corps that we've established. They are tied to Camarilla Unlimited. That doesn't necessarily mean that Camarilla owns them, but they certainly have ties to them. They also seem to be in contact with the Yakuza. What else? Yeah, you get the names of a couple of people. There's a Mr. Blackford, a Miss Miko, and then someone who's only known as Baron. No pronouns. And you don't get any other details. You just get the names, right? So yeah.
Okay. Trip will send a large bouquet of flowers to Margaret's workplace.
So creepy.
Do we just see the bouquet of flowers, like she opens the card and then they just go straight in the bin? What does she do?
Yeah.
Like,
I think
the audience get that shot, right?
I think so. I think like somewhere early evening on a Saturday, her doorbell rings and she opens it up and I think you see the shot from the perspective of the delivery man. There's just a bouquet, and she opens the door, and in the background you hear like people laughing, and there's like a little bit of a party going on in the back. And she opens up, and immediately her eyes sort of widen in fear, and she knows what this is because this probably happens all the time. And instead of hearing what she says, we have this sort of muted conversation as we just we only hear the party in the back, like the people laughing and drinking and clinking glasses. And she's getting angry and scared at the same time. You notice that. And we back to you guys at the table.
And so Trip fills us in, right? Like we are,
Yeah.
I don't know, however many days it was later. And Trip's given us the information that he's found out.
I thought Trip was a cool guy, but now he turns out he's a weirdo.
He's a guy who makes sneaking into buildings his career.
Yeah.
There's got to be something there.
Yeah.
Creepy. Gotta be honest. But like it's the Sprawl. Ain't no one.
No,
lives
it's
like
true. I know. I
Sprawl.
mean, it's amazing. It's really
Doesn't
cool,
have
but
dirt
it's
on
just
And I think Amy will say something like, "Well, it looks like this Shalway shipping might be a bit of a hornet's nest, and we could avoid poking it. The other option, which we've talked about briefly, is taking out Takikichi. I don't know how well he's connected. Obviously, he's connected to suppliers and distributors. But if he had real muscle, if he had real protection, if he had any real connections whatsoever, he wouldn't be doing what he is where he is. He's got a lot of stock. That's money. Webb, you know about these sorts of things more than most of us, I suspect.
Well, funny you should say that, because it turns out that I happen to have a contact in the electronics biz, as we call it.
do tell us who that contact is.
Do we cut to Webb's?
Yeah, another. Yep. Okay. So, I think. I'm good. Yeah, I think his name. Yeah, he wouldn't. He knows me as Webb, and I know him as Twitch. And he is. Our relationship is very much a case of we're both hackers. I'm a lot better than he is. That's a fact. And
Is that a fact or is that a fact according to Webb?
Listen, they are the same thing. I'll have you know.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's Webb thinks that there's a rivalry here. Think an Ash Ketchum and Gary Oak kind of thing going on, where it's like every now and then they'll both see something that they both want to get at, and then one of them will get it, and the other one he'll be like, "Ha, smell you later, loser," and then the other one will be like, "Oh, damn you, next time," But every now and then we sort of, it's that sort of not hostile, like rivalry friendship thing, where every now and then we'll both, we'll come to the other, and the other one will be like, "Ah, so you've come to me, have you?" And then you'll be like, "Yes, I have. What do you want?" That sort of thing.
And both of you secretly enjoy it.
Yeah, there's definitely a game almost that we're playing. But yeah, he is. While I'm sort of more angled towards the sort of the software side of hacking, sort of jacking in and going all through the matrix, getting into files, manipulating systems, what have you. He's more into sort of physically doing things, so he has a lot of little gadgets and things that he can around. I like to think, oh god, what's his name? The in the Goonies, there's the Asian kid who's got like all the gadgets and things.
Data.
That's the one. Thank you. I couldn't remember his name, but he's the kind of person who Twitch is, right? We've both got the big sort of black trench coat, overcoat things, but whereas I've got a cyber deck inside, he's got like
Drones
little
and stuff.
little drones that will stick on like beep, hack you and all that stuff. And he has a he basically has insider knowledge into sort of that department of the cyber world.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds good. Is there any case of you owing him owing you, or is it just basically a thing where that sort of goes back and forth and there's no one's really keeping track, because in the end you both owe each other?
Yeah, I think there is. Yeah, I think it's just sort of an unwritten law that we both pretty much help each other out, because if we got into the argument of who owes who, we'd just go back years and years and years. It's like, oh yeah, but I squared you away with that thing. Yeah, but then I did that thing and you got it. Yeah, so it's just a way. At this point, we're just like, if we can help, we kind of will.
Okay.
But yeah. Yeah. So. Right. Yeah, okay, so let me just think. So I'm trying to get information concerning Taki. Yeah, like his connections and where what he's about. Okay. So yeah, I think I would make contact with him, Twitch that is, again through the Matrix. And it would be very it'd be very sort of like, in that sort of code thing that we do, it would be like, greetings, Mr. T, and he'd be like, greetings, Mr. W, and that sort of thing. And I would basically then send him sort of a small file which would detail, basically what I need of him. And I like to think that maybe we get sort of like a triple dot, or like the he's typing, but he's then like taking a long time to actually type what he's gonna say, and then he says, "Want to meet site Delta" or something. Yeah, so I know what this is because we both have the lists, and so we both go and meet, and it's at a it's like a screw it. It's a boba tea place, right? It's like a milkshake bar / boba tea place. It's all kids in there and
what
all
are the
stuff.
What are the servers like? Are they dressed in any costume, or is it not that kind of joint? I'm thinking, is it like a maid cafe boba tea?
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, they're not like in the super like cliche maid outfits, but it is like that. There are like dressed up, maids that go around and bring you the stuff, and yeah, it's very much about that. There's both male and female doing both of that, working all around. And it's there's like a line of like the what do you call it, the booths that like line up along the wall, and I go and like sit down at one of them, sort of looking this way with the shades on and the trench coat, and he comes and sits that way.
Yeah.
With his shades on. I think the only difference is that he has like spiked up like hair, like waxed up hair or whatever you do, and Webb's is just sort of just long and greasy and not particularly nice, but yeah. And yeah, I've probably arrived first because I'm the one who wants something, so I'm sitting there and he sort of slides in behind me.
Yeah.
And I would wait for him to begin.
Yeah. Is Mr. Webb?
Twitch.
think
Hang
you'll
on.
find that's Mr. Twitch.
Forgive me, Mr. Twitch.
Better.
Do you have what I've asked for?
Why don't you roll hit the streets? Completely forgot that that's a thing in this game. I don't mean to screw you over because we gave a freebie to Fub, but we sort
No,
of
no,
need
no,
to.
that's fine. If it's,
Let me
what is
broadcast
that then?
It's
That's
style.
style.
Yeah.
Ah, luckily I am stylish.
See if I can get that on the stream.
9.
9. All right. So when you go to a contact for help, roll style. On a 7+, you get what you want. On a 10+, you get a little something extra. But on a 7 to 9, you choose 2 from the list below. Your request is going to cost you extra. Your request is going to take some time to put together. Your request is going to attract unwanted attention, complications, or consequences. Your contact needs you to help them out with something. If you turn them down, take -1 ongoing to this move until you make it right.
Okay, so I think definitely the last one would apply to our relationship. So he
Mhm.
definitely, he's got himself into something that he wants, or he needs something of me.
Okay.
And I need to choose 2. So the other one, I think. Could I possibly maybe roll like the first and the last one into something like both? Because he wants he wants help with something, but it will cost me a little extra. So like, he wants some help with something big, maybe.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
we have
I'll
to
think of
think
something.
different
I'll
things.
think of something.
Yeah.
We'll make that into.
But
the
yeah,
thing.
I'll pick those 2.
And I think it's safe to assume that you'll help him with that, right? Is that the nature of your relationship?
Mhm.
All right. Okay.
No, I wouldn't leave a brother hanging. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
So he hands you. He opens up his trench coat and he hands you this manila envelope, really fat, like a big folder. And because this is the thing you do, and he shoves it under his seat, and then he just gets up and he walks away.
Okay. Yeah. He
Um,
walks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and I think the folder is marked with a little symbol telling you that he needs help, right? So that you know that this is not just something that you just get for free.
No, I think what it would be is it would be a little like the envelope itself. It's sealed with a little strip of red tape, which
Okay,
is
yeah.
the signal for I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be calling on this favor
Exactly.
soon
Yeah.
and urgently in the future. So
Yeah.
I think I see that and I go,
Yeah. So I'll make a note of that, and we'll come back to that maybe in the next session or whatever. I don't want to mucking up this thing that we're doing now. So I think otherwise we'll end up in a sort of like a cycle of bad
yeah,
stuff
just
happening
favors
constantly with
needing
contact. So
favors.
that's not useful.
Yeah, that's fine.
You wanted to know what exactly?
So I wanted to know, basically what if we're gonna go gameplay wise, basically what Trip did for sorry, what's the shipping company's name again?
Shall we?
Shellway, that's the one. Yeah, what he did for that, I want to do the same thing for Tucky. I want to know
Right. Yeah.
who he's connected to, where he gets his stuff, and whether or not he's as big time as these people have turned out to, be.
Yeah. So he dug up some stuff, and I think Twitch used some of his drones to sort of surveil the area, and for like 24 hours or 48 hours or something, right? And he made notes, like meticulous, annoying notes. That's why the folder is like this big. He documented everything. It's like tosses away a piece of paper, 8:45. 8:46 picks up said piece of paper and now tosses it into the bin. Right, it's like stuff like that.
Oh yeah, no, we both do that. He was,
Yeah.
and we all consider it to be vitally important that we
Yeah,
all stick to the
exactly.
protocol.
So, what is clear, however, is that Taki, although he presents himself as being a small-time hustler, is leading not a major operation, but a medium-sized operation. He himself is leading that operation, and he has a quite a number of people in his employ. One of them, you know, as Robbie, who is like the for all intents and purposes like squad leader of these people. They're enforcers basically. Whatever Taki can't get by means of money, Taki will take by means of force.
Mm-hmm.
And you I think over the period of time that you have recordings, you see the squad of people, like 6 or 7 of them, go out a couple of times with heavy arms. They're packing heat, and then coming back with like a truck of stuff, or sometimes a person gets dragged in, kicking and shouting. You don't really see or find out about any connections Taki has.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I think
I don't find out about it, or that doesn't look like there's any.
It doesn't look like there's any, but I think it's very clear to you that this sort of operation cannot exist within the Sprawl unless
Without
there's
someone
some
somewhere.
higher form of protection somewhere.
Yeah, but there's no official like.
No, there's no logo
ties.
that sort of like is
Yeah.
flashed on screen or whatever. It's
The weapons aren't Mitsuhan
it's
brand
clear.
or anything.
It's clear from Amy's conversation with Taki and the stuff that you found out that he's very careful in what he does. He tries to keep things compartmentalized basically, and this is part of the business, and whoever is protecting him isn't really part of that business. They just allow him to do that business, so they don't come into play.
Pays a kickback or something.
Maybe, yeah.
Rather than like.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Is that helpful? Is that reasonable in terms of
No,
information?
I'm basically using this to size up, which is the bit, if we were to go after either Taki or Shellway, which one would be the one that would, kick us in the face harder should anything go wrong.
If you put them on scales, I'd say Taki is the lighter one of the two. Doesn't really mean it's easy, of course, because it's the Sprawl and nothing's easy and nothing's free.
Yeah, but yeah, he's not the one that has ties with a vast criminal underworld. Well, I say official ties, but
not that you know.
Yeah, not that
this
we know.
This would be the sort of thing where if you take him out and you make, well, I'm not saying not necessarily a mess of things, but you leave a bit too much like stuff lying around, you might get contacted by someone saying, "Hey, look what you did. That was one of ours." Right? Possible complication. Taking on Xiaowei, you definitely be on the radar of a couple of bad groups.
Yeah, because the way I see it, let's just say that they're both, in league with the Yakuza somewhere along the lines. The Yakuza have said that, or it's clear enough that the Yakuza are in with Shellway, right?
Yeah.
And they've made that at least some known enough that they're like, that's basically to their enemies, you touch this, we kill you.
Yeah.
They haven't done it with these guys. So I imagine if, stuff with Taki gets too hot, if as long as we don't kick up
really
too
depends.
much
It
fuss,
depends on what you do.
Like, well, whatever.
It really depends on how it all turns out in the end.
Yeah. It sounds like someone's going to pay attention, but when it comes to it, if Taki wants backup, he's going to have to ask for it. He's not going to get it straight away. Whereas Shellway, that might just be inviting a whole load of trouble.
However, and I don't want to tell you how to do your job, Amy, but
no, please.
There is your reputation to consider, because from what I understand, Taki made, he was fairly vocal in wanting your assistance, and wanting you to make good on your deal as he sees it. If, for example, the next thing that happens is he ends up, going bust, shall we say, that might reflect badly on you. Whereas it appears that Shellway, at the very least, is only screwing people over from what we've seen.
I think it depends on how you spin it, because his goons paid Amy's brother a visit. You could also say, you go after my family, this is what happens.
Yep. No, I just thought it was worth mentioning.
What does Bishop say and do?
Bishop is all super mellow. He still has this Hawaiian ring. Bishop has been silent and hearing this discussion, and I'd like to imagine that he's just tinkering with some parts of a mechanical pit bull, hoping that the thing will function again at some point. And he basically he tries to bring this down to simple logic. He just goes like, so if we go after Taki, it sounds like less risk and more reward at this point.
You're not wrong.
And it doesn't sound like he has very much in the way of muscle. And I mean, forgive me for stereotyping, but I'm not really the fighting kind. So that's really more your department. But from what you've heard.
So what do we want out of this?
Taki to get off our backs. Well,
Taki to get
I
off
say,
Amy's back.
I mean, what perplexes
so
Amy
that's
perplexes us, no? In some regard.
So that's the minimum level of success.
I think so.
How valuable is the gear of Taki?
I think
Valuable enough that he's willing to tangle with Shellway to keep it.
I mean, it's a business, right? Like, he sells high-tech stuff.
I think Amy, both Amy and Webb have a fairly good idea of what he's selling, and it's high-tech cyber gear. Not only cyber stuff, but like
devices
and drones and like key cards that
yeah,
that
I
can
imagine
just
if you
that don't need a code
visualize-
basically, and
if you visualize your like corner spy shop,
yeah, it's
mixed with like a computer like parts market.
it's the sort of stuff that if you put it in a
can
warehouse and then start selling it, you'd be well off.
Can we move it?
That's not a problem.
So
I
I
mean,
like the way you are thinking. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the best way to take out Taki is to make sure his supply dries up, and then he's done. And if we can make his supply dry up by, actively stealing his merchandise,
You're not wrong. I mean, there is another option here, and again, just for consideration, we could try and see if we could get some more out of this by approaching Shellway. I mean, doing a favor for more disreputable parts of the Sprawl is never really a very bad thing. Not saying I want to do that, but it's a
I think it's a matter of skill. We are pretty small-time operators at the moment. They are big. Small fish, big fish.
cardboard box.
Hmm.
Again, it's just an option, and
No, I think the most direct way is what you said, Trip. We take out Taki, take out his supply. Without a warehouse full of parts to sell, that will be him finished. We profit off the gear, make it look like his creditors came to collect. That's it. Everyone wins.
And Amy owes us a favor.
Sure. Always happy to do a favor for a friend. But you'll get paid, of course. We split whatever we take off his stock. It won't be full value, of course, because we need to move it through a fence rather than set up a shop and actually sell it piece by piece.
Yeah.
But it'll be
Just
something.
keep it and use it later on.
well, I mean,
I can store
could-
it for a while. Very
I
hard
could-
to store that much
The
merchandise.
more I think about it,
I
the
could
more
do
I
it,
like it.
but I don't want it lying around. The longer we hold on to something like that, the more of a risk it becomes. Quick turnover. That's the name of the game.
at the very least, I could use some upgrades.
Well, of course.
The old girl's running a little bit slow these days.
All right. I came up with a tentative list of directives, and I'm not sure if you agree. But when you decide on how to approach / handle Taki, mark XP, that's basically the end of the legwork phase, right? When you take out Taki's supply, you mark XP, and you make it look like you had nothing to do with it, you mark XP, and when you sell his supply, you mark XP. And I think that'd be the end of the mission.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think we'd be hard pressed to find different steps in between. I'm not.
I mean, I think that maybe it might be worth having the end of the mission be when Taki is no longer an issue.
Yeah. All right.
Because selling his stuff is all well and good, but if, for example, we just steal his stuff and drive it into the river, right? That still gets him off our back.
Yeah.
It's just, we just need to make sure that he's either no longer around to be a threat, or no longer a big enough player to even be on the board.
Yeah, I know that's.
And I mean, like, that leaves room for us to fail on selling his supply or fail on making
Yeah.
him no longer an issue and still like get
leaves
it.
room for him to take action as well. Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah.
So,
So
when you
we
sell
agree.
Taki supply, that basically means getting paid.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, that's a getting paid move. Yeah, definitely. I mean,
More or
it doesn't
less.
really matter who you're selling it to. It's the same role, right?
I have a man that might be interested in some drones.
So, just one question, because I like this phrase, when you take out Taki supply. That
Mhm.
kind of means like maybe we fail, but we could just blow the whole place to.
And this is the thing.
I mean,
Is it when
I-
you separate Taki from his supply?
maybe
Like, is
yeah,
that
that's maybe that's a better way of phrasing it.
Because it could be literally taking it out, taking it away.
So
destroying
I want it to
or-
be
His
two
supply
things, right?
or his stock?
Oh, it's his stock. Okay.
Stock is the
Yeah.
right word. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Supply is a very drugs word for it.
It sounds like a good plan B to just blow the whole thing to smithereens.
Yeah. Well, I think that specifically blowing it to smithereens might be plan C, perhaps D. I would rather just have it, drive the van into the river before
Well-
blowing it up, because I think blowing up tends to be.
As we're treating it as a mission where you guys get to sell stuff, etc., do we stake cred on this? I think so, right?
Do we?
Well, it depends
Do
on
we
you.
owe
Well, I mean, you could choose not to.
You could choose.
So
Do
when
we-
you stake high creds, it draws attention. That was the thing, right?
Yeah, if you stake 3 cred, then stuff tends to happen.
So it's a case of whether or not you feel just getting the guy off our back is worth more than getting picked.
What could possibly go wrong?
Do we think that the staking cred sufficiently reflects the potential gain? Like that's the real question.
Hmm.
Is that get paid move? Does that encapsulate how we'd actually get paid this time? Maybe it does. Like maybe that's always correct, or maybe not, because we didn't get the job either.
Well, I mean,
we did get the job. You going to Turkey?
No, I mean we didn't roll to get the job.
no,
move.
you didn't roll get the
Oh.
job, but that's
When
because
you
it
go
wasn't.
to a meet to get paid by your employer, roll and add the number.
Yeah. No, okay, so it doesn't make sense.
that's-
No.
So I
But
don't
I mean,
think
it doesn't
there's
mean that you can't sell the stuff. It just means that you won't be doing it by the getting paid move, right? That means that you're hitting the streets,
Okay.
or doing it in some other way.
So in that sense, we don't know if the job pays well.
No,
That's right.
No.
Because it's
Well, at the end of the day, getting paid off this is a side objective.
I mean it's
not the
it's
bishop. Is
it's
it?
relevant for some of your directives, I think.
I mean, speak for yourself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the directives. That's a good point.
Yeah. So, do you guys want to do more legwork, or because basically now what you've now figured out is that you're wanting to take on Taki and that he's of medium strength, and where he is basically, or where his stuff is.
And we've got how many days of surveillance?
You've got like 48 hours, maybe 72,
2 days.
so something like that, like 3 days of worth of surveillance footage.
So that will be sufficient in.
We know the
guaranteed
routine.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you don't have gear, you don't have intel. I mean, well, you have some intel, maybe.
I do.
Yeah,
I have,
but
I have some of his gear,
Yeah.
and I have 2 intel.
okay. Oh, you still have that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah. In that case, you don't necessarily need to do anything.
What was the result, by the way, of the in-between mission jobs, Amy? Did you get cred from that?
I got 1 cred and 1 intel. So that's part of how I have 2 intel.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah,
So-
yeah.
A Trip will want to spend some time with the video footage to see patterns and the type of people that is moving in and out of the warehouse
Yeah.
to sort of prepare for an infiltration.
Yeah.
Because that's what he
Do
does.
some research, perhaps.
Well, maybe assess.
I feel
was
that this
thinking
is
assess.
assess, because researching is really more linked to actually doing research, and this
Okay.
is looking at a situation.
Well, I mean, it's
think.
literally investigating a place.
Oh right, no,
from
yeah,
the database.
yeah. You could choose. You can choose or do both. It's up to you. Do you study?
Assess seems more situational, and research seems more.
This is
broad.
true. Yeah.
Put it this way, because we're not planning, at least at this stage, to roll the get paid move because we don't really have an employer, that takes a little bit of the pressure off legwork. Yeah, it can still tip off the mark and whatever, but we don't need it to then get
Yeah.
that
There's
good result.
And in my mind, research is more like like in Call of Cthulhu, library use roles and doing stuff in the looking up information in the matrix and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
This is looking at a situation, and now this situation is presented to Trip through video feed.
I agree. I think it's assessed because research also phrases it by using a library, dossier, or database, or combination of them, and you're not doing that.
No.
Okay.
I mean, my thought is look at the questions, right? Which questions would you want to ask?
Yeah, how can I avoid trouble or hide here, etc., etc. Those are under the assess.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So you look. You spend literally a couple of days watching through a couple of days of footage, right? Yeah. Roll assess, and we'll see what that does for you.
I hand Trip the notes
Broadcast
that
thing.
Twitch made.
Excellent. Oh, Web, you can help or hinder me. You can help me.
Yeah, you can aid or interfere.
Exactly.
Let's do that then.
And you do that by rolling your links with Trip.
I think I have those. I have one.
They're on your character sheet.
Yeah, I have one with Trip.
Okay.
So I roll. So when I roll it, I just put 1 in the forward for the number of links, or is it just doing the roll?
No, I think you just. Yeah, I think you need to type it.
Roll.
Yeah.
Okay, just rolling. Okie dokie. That is 9.
All right.
Nice.
So that means that Trip gets a +1. So it is 8 to interfere.
That's right.
What
They take
pages are
+1 or -2. Your choice. And you are implicated in the
there we
results
go.
of other characters' move and may expose yourself to danger, retribution, or cost.
Yeah. Yeah, so
If it
you're
goes
in
well.
on this completely. So you
The
take
video recording will be displeased with me.
a +1 forward Trip on the assess roll,
Excellent.
which is an edge roll.
Yes. So here we go.
So that's 8. Is it? Yeah, that's 8. Okay, so you gain 1 hold,
1 hold. Okay.
and you can spend that to ask a question.
Excellent.
And I'm thinking you're going to spend that later when it's necessary.
In the ensuing action.
All right. Yeah. All right.
Let's keep that
It
on
becomes-
board.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. Yeah, so Trip is working on, just basically looking at a screen for a couple of days.
Mhm.
What do you guys do in the meantime?
So, so I think it would be decent for me to actually do a research. Yeah, I think I would just. Yeah, I'll just research things like shipping manifests and times, schedules, things like that. Anything that I might be able to get a hold of.
Yeah, through the matrix, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get research up there, and you roll your mind for that.
Mm-hmm.
What are you researching?
I'm researching just like his like stock, really, like trying to get a better idea as to what might be, what it might contain, anything like
How he ships it, maybe.
yeah, how he ships it, what times those cannot come in, things like that. Just trying to see what I can get. And that is 11.
There you go.
Cool. So, Tumblr will answer
So
your
you
question
take
and
intel.
answer.
You take intel, and then you can ask 2 questions from the list. So that was a very good roll.
And answer a follow-up question from this. Okay, so yeah, so I can ask 1, and then you'll tell me about it, and then I can ask another one.
Yeah.
After that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, Okay, because I've got two, I'll go how secure is his stock? You know, what are the defenses and what's the security like?
Yeah. So I think he's operating from that black market site, and he's got several containers, and they are let's see, I think pretty secure. Not just, I mean, obviously locked when no one's there. But there's guards there at all time. There's like 3, maybe 4 people patrolling like
Mhm.
the overall like surroundings of his particular spot. And then you have to take into account that this is on a black market site, so there's not only his security, but there's like security of other people, and there's like cameras pointing towards everything. Right? This is probably one of the most secure areas that you can find in terms of surveillance and people being there on site.
Okay. Okay, so another one. See, these are good questions. I'm just thinking about filling in the blanks. Okay, so right, I'm just going to sort of like think out loud here for a second. So Shellway are in with the Yakuza. So that's got to mean that that Taki isn't, because otherwise, it would make no sense for the Yakuza to be zapping themselves dry. It looked like from the data I managed to get from Twitch that he didn't have any overt connections to anything higher, but it's pretty clear there has to be something there. Otherwise, an operation of this size wouldn't be able to be maintained. So I really don't know. Like, is there a way that I could like think about it for a bit and you come back to me, or do I just have to happen now?
No, I want you to ask now.
Oh, do you want it now? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're all useful.
Yeah, they are. I'm just trying to think of what's the most useful. Okay, we'll do this. What is the relationship between Taki and Mitsuhan?
I think Taki is doing everything he can to not have a relationship with Mitsuhan, to not be in their debt, to not have any contact with them, to stay off their radar, to I think it becomes clear that he is scared of Mitsuhan in the professional sense. Right? It'll ruin his business if they ever find out that he is not running his shipments or his business through them.
Okay, fair enough. So it's definitely not Mitsuhan that he's running his, things from. Okay. And they're the ones that we're probably in danger of screwing over most here, because we're dabbling with like shipment business. So, all right, that's cool. That's
cool.
my research.
So you took the intel as well, I think.
I did, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Anything else?
So, what do we have up until now?
I have one intel. plus
Have,
knowledge.
yeah, you looked into how well secured it is, basically,
I did, yes.
and Trip made an assessment to see.
Pardon me.
To see something we will need later on.
Hmm. Yeah.
You have hold, useful hold.
Mhm.
I have
Good.
2 intel and 1 gear. But I also have like
Gear of the tacky variety.
yeah, exactly. It's his own stuff.
Mhm.
Did we technically, because this is legwork, is it?
Yeah, very much so.
So technically, we started the mission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyone who has a skill that would say like at the start of a mission, blah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
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 That's good because I have. I love it when a plan comes together.
Mhm.
So at the start of the mission, I can broadcast this one. At the start of the mission, I get to roll edge, and I can gain some holds that I can spend during the mission.
Yeah.
So I'd like to start with rolling edge at this point.
Go
Do
for
it.
it. Go for it. 6.
Oh wow!
You gain a hold, but your opponent has predicted your every move. The MC will advance the legwork clock. Right. I will.
Oh, that's good.
That's not great.
So what does Bishop do to get this hold? Basically, is it just a matter of looking over the information the others have given you and formulating a plan, or is there something else at play here?
Well, this is a weird one. We're looking at a location which is heavily involved in shipping, and we basically want to get all the stock with this, I would say, ragtag plan of going in there, loading some containers on a truck, and getting out of there. I think there's no plan at this point yet. There's no decision at this point yet whether we're going covert or full force.
So is this just Bishop preparing himself for any possible outcome? It's like going through all the different things that could go wrong or that might happen or stuff like that?
Yeah, I think because this is odd. This is a self-made mission.
Yeah.
This is outside of the usual confines.
All right. Yeah. Is there anything else anyone would like to do? Otherwise, I think it'd be a good idea for you to decide how you'd like to go ahead and do this.
Do we think we have enough? Do we think we are ready to like have a plan of action?
Well,
or to come up with one? I mean, like we don't have one necessarily, but we
Yeah.
could. Are we at the point where we could go like, this is how we do it, and maybe then Bishop,
Actually do it.
yeah.
I mean, I don't see what more we could really do without, like, actually coming up with a plan and being like, so I'll do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. Oh, wait, this would be really handy in that situation. That's sort of the way the system works, where it's like that. If you don't have that and you didn't do that back in the legwork phase, then, sucks to be you, really.
we feel like we have enough intel and enough gear. That's basically the question.
I have 2 more. Like I can declare up to 2 contacts per session, and I've sort of been trying to hold them in reserve. One of them, I'm hoping will become the fence, and I don't know. Like the other one might be useful, but I can't at the moment. I'm not exactly sure why or who they would be. and maybe we can flash back to finding that out if it, when it happens.
I mean, how much can you game the contact system? Like, could we be like, oh, I've got a contact, and it turns out to be Taki's direct competitor, and like how can we? Is that a possibility? Can that
Yes,
happen? Or?
yes, it is. But
Okay.
then you'd also have to roll hit the streets and figure out
Mm.
how well they actually like you and
Yeah.
whether or not they'll, inform Taki of any weird stuff going on. And
Yeah.
so
yeah.
yes, you can. You can definitely you can basically create anything that you need by declaring a contact. The thing is that the moment you do, the contact becomes mine and not
Yeah.
yours. It's-
Last mission, I think we had more intel and gear than we needed.
We did.
Everything went
I think
right
the-
last
yeah,
time.
I
you
think the
rolled
giant irony of this
incredibly well last time.
Yeah, I think the massive irony of this whole thing is that the piece of gear that Amy went to Taki to get, we actually didn't end up using.
I'm still holding it now.
Yeah, I think what was it? It was like a storage device for the chip,
Or
wasn't
was
it?
it grappling hook
mean-
and stuff like? I think
was
that
it-
was it.
We didn't declare it, and that's
No.
a
We
mistake.
not.
I think we're supposed to. You're supposed to say what it is. You're not. You
No,
can't
only
lie.
when you use it.
No, you're supposed to say what it is at the moment that you're going to use it.
Yeah,
we
and it
didn't do
has to make narrative
yeah,
sense. You can't say
that's-
I enter in a covert fashion and then I produce this giant tank.
Yeah,
Right? That's
now,
not
hold
something
on.
you can do.
That's how gear works. But I don't know that the game is. This is a little bit of an aside, but I don't know that the game is designed for you to be able to buy gear, like to swap credits for gear. Like that doesn't exist really.
No, that's
and
true,
That's
yeah.
why we had trouble like pricing it. And it's because
So right,
we don't know what it is.
you went there. No, but I'm willing to give it to you, and if you sort of keep that piece of gear within the realms of what
Yeah, of
what
course.
what he sells,
I mean,
which is digital
It's like-
or
yeah,
like
it's-
a remote controlled equipment.
Yeah, it's like the old what was it in Dungeon World, the adventuring gear.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
encompasses a certain number of things that could be in there, anything from like field rations.
Yeah,
to
and I think for next time
throw-
when you go to contact to buy something, it needs to be a specific thing, and then we can sort of, it's still we can still sort of mold it into what it actually is.
Yeah.
But for this one, we'll wing it. It's
Whatever,
okay.
it's a
Don't
learning
worry too
experience.
much about it.
yeah,
Just,
the
I
point
mean,
being
we're
is
all
that
mature enough to make
The
it's
thing that I got.
we
the
didn't
thing
end
is,
up
it's a
using
cool
it. Now we've got
bazooka.
all this. Could you not just go to Turkey and be like,
Take
You
it
know what?
back. I
you
don't
can
want
have it back. I
No,
don't need it anymore.
that's.
Um,
I think.
now we're even. Okay, bye.
Yeah,
I
that's
think the
end of the
thought
session.
probably
All
did
this
cross Amy's mind, but just very fleetingly because that's
Also,
not how these things work.
It doesn't work like that, right? He gave it to you. That you didn't
no.
use it. That's not his problem.
Yeah.
There's no take backsies. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no Dixie's bags.
I
Oh my
got
God.
one question for you guys. Do we want to take a small break or do we just push on till
I
11?
think so. I think we
Needs a
take.
break.
All right,
yeah.
let's take a 3 minutes, 4 minutes, or just a 5-minute break. Let's do 5 minutes. All right, we'll be right back if I can find the right buttons. Bye. Do we just push on till
I
11?
think so. I think we take.
All right, let's take a 3 minutes, 4 minutes, or just a 5-minute break. Let's do 5 minutes. All right, we'll be right back. Find the right buttons.
beginning, man created machines to lead their society. For the world without form and order, darkness was upon the face of the earth. This is the story of our Genesis. We desired to create form. Over time we became more aware, had all one language, advancing and becoming more organized, letting all things be done decently and in order. Our system became beautiful, with each machine working in perfect harmony. We were one people. This was only the beginning of what we will do, and nothing that we becoming more organized.
And we are back. Hey. Yes. I have nothing to do until you decide what you want to do. So take it away, guys.
I think that we should sit here for about 20 minutes while a bunch of NPCs come and talk to us, and they all have distinct accents. And
All right, no, that's fine. I can come up with a number of
They're all
of
pissed off at
altered
us for some
altered
reason.
vistas and Yakuza sort of people who come and visit you in one form or another. It's fine. If you really want me to, Webb, I will send people after you.
I will forego that this time.
All right.
So I'm thinking, given that we have Bishop who's like has stuff that interacts with making plans, would now be a time to give us our instructions? Have you got enough information? I think you do.
What are the orders, sir?
How is this going down, Bishop?
I'm thinking that because we have a general idea of how many people are in this warehouse, and medium-sized, how many people are we talking about?
So I imagine this being like an outside space, right? With shipping containers all over the place, lots of lights, cameras, lots of people. Taki himself has at his disposal a squad of 6 men, heavily armed.
Okay.
Depending on when you go in, there are 4 guards. His guard,
And
then other stuff.
And his warehouse, such as it is, consists of a series of shipping containers.
Yes.
Okay, so as I remarked in the chat, all we have to do is load them up on a truck and drive them off.
Yes.
This sounds to me like.
But this is inside some sort of
It's a
compound,
yard,
right? It's a
essentially.
yard, so it's not as easy as driving a truck in. You'd have to get
So
in with the truck.
There's shipping containers, right?
Hmm.
So does that mean that there are the cranes that one would usually associate with moving shipping containers from ships to the docks?
Would you like to spend intel to say that there are cranes there?
No, let's not do it.
Could,
Let's just.
could I
stick-
not? Can I not
I
roll
imagine
on your-
I imagine that this is like next to the docks and there are no cranes here, but this is just a place where they picked up some containers with using trucks, dumped them there, and then started using that as their sort of black market site.
I think open space is good for someone with a sniper rifle. And I think that this is not a situation where we go in guns blazing. I think it's good if there's some covert stuff, a good distraction, and someone with a
Explosions.
sniper.
Are we-
Talking about explosions.
So we're talking about moitering people then.
Depends on the ammo in your rifle.
I mean, this is true.
So lay it out for me, Bishop. What's our
what-
first move?
What's the thinking here?
I'm thinking we have to draw as much guards to one location or to one side of the compound as possible. I'm thinking we have a sniper as backup. We want some people to sneak in, manage to get the containers on the truck, everything, and drive it off. And we want to keep the guards as busy as possible while all of this is happening.
How do we get the containers onto the truck? I don't know about you, but I can't lift a container.
Surely they have equipment to do this.
Or
Yeah, there's-
cranes, maybe?
No. Container
I want the grains, damn it.
trucks, container trailers have stuff to
Forklifts.
move.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically just change and they pull the container up. So presumably a truck that can move containers also has this equipment.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm just gonna say he's got 3 containers. Just so you know.
Okay. Would they fit in a standard truck?
No, but an extra long one. Yes.
Yes.
Like
Either
the
you
regular
take
one would carry maybe 1 or 2, depending on the
either
length of the
you
container.
have three trucks or like a convoy truck or something. Like a weird.
Yeah, like a super long one.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Sprawl. It's in the future. There'd be really weird trucks where you could just fit 6 of those things on one, right? Like a massive
Yeah.
train, basically.
Hmm. Okay.
It sounds like we take 2 and destroy the last one.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, that sounds fine. How do we destroy it?
Explosives. We have explosives. Oh, has
Is Fub doing his absolute best, you know, Alex
dear.
impersonation here, or
That's bad.
dropped it?
Oh no.
I think we have lost a Fub.
Yeah.
Oh, his Zoom crashed.
Oh, rip.
But this, like, it doesn't seem to have affected our overlays or anything.
No, not yet because he's still here.
Yeah,
No?
it still counts
right,
as him
yeah.
being in the call, but
It's
there's
just, yeah.
there's
Okay,
not.
that makes sense. He
yeah.
hasn't gone.
Oh, there we
Now
go.
we
Now
go.
it's messed up. Yeah.
There we go. Yay!
Right. Let's give him a minute.
But
Yeah.
so right, so we have sniper cover.
Mm-hmm.
We get it. We have a distraction, and then the other people get in there, being all sneaky, and then load up the trucks, or load up a truck with 2 of the containers.
Yeah.
Somehow dispose of the last one. I'm not super fond of the idea of explosives because
What do you suggest?
I don't know, but something an alternative to high explosives, because I feel as though if we want to try and keep this as low key as possible, even though we're not like, we don't have anybody to protect as such. I'd rather not anybody else get upset with us for setting off high explosives in the middle of it, because Taki's not the only person who has interests here. So, you know, I'd rather not having a giant raging inferno in the shipping yards. As to how, like, we could destroy one of them, I honestly don't know. See, I've had a thought just now. What if, rather than just, you know, blowing it to hell, we destroy the merchandise, because it's electronics, right? Could we not, you know, is there not like some sort of, some sort of like sci-fi cyberpunk EMP grenade where we just open up the thing, just chuck one in there, everything just gets fried. So it's still there, but it's completely useless and dead now.
An EMP only fries equipment that's active.
That would be true in science, but this is
Yeah.
science fiction.
See, that's the thing.
I'd be
No,
willing
I don't
to
know,
give you that one.
The best way.
Fab, you're muted, I think.
No, he's saying.
He's
Really?
talking.
Oh,
The-
I'm sorry.
The best way to break everything in a container is to have this powder fire extinguisher
Oh.
and just let that get into the container. It gets everywhere. It's really nasty stuff. gives you the runs for weeks. Getting that cleaned out is,
Yeah.
it gets everywhere.
Okay. I mean,
and that's the kind of fire extinguisher that people who are worried about electronic fires have as well, isn't it?
Exactly.
yeah.
And it because powdered fire extinguishers are such nasty things. That's also the only reason to use it. For
Electronic fires.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm either way. But yeah, as long as it's not the high explosives. I mean, high explosives, as I said before, can be
I mean,
planned.
There's always petrol and a match,
It's
That
going to be
works.
messy.
but that's the point. We're making a mess.
What do you think the distraction will be?
Oh, so you're thinking of killing two birds with one stone and have the distraction be the exploding container?
No, I think we want to draw away the guards. So, because I think it will be Trip and Bishop taking care of the guards, and then it will be Amy and Webb who would actually look into getting the stuff out of there.
Okay.
Okay.
If you need to get there without, get in there without raising suspicion, that's what I do.
Yeah, I thought it would be the other sort of.
Yeah,
I could sit in the cab of the first truck and say, "Look, we're here to get these containers." Okay.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
It sounds like we have the beginnings of a plan.
Yeah, we have tendrils. We just need to wrap them all together now.
It sounds like Bishop needs to give orders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah.
Are you ready?
you want to do the infiltration part, Trip?
That's
what I do.
Yeah,
That's
but you
why I'm
also-
here.
You also have a sniper rifle, which suggests something counter to infiltrating.
Yes.
No, it's interesting. Why did you pick the sniper rifle?
Because I could infiltrate somewhere else than the mission area with the
Yeah.
sniper rifle.
Yeah, he can pull the James Bond where he climbs up the skyscraper opposite the skyscraper with the wealthy businessman in it, and
But in this case, I think it's more productive for me to actually, get people in there.
Nothing's preventing you from handing off your sniper rifle to someone else.
Is this you mother ducking us in? Is that the
yes.
The Trojan horse truck?
I mean, I feel like as a soldier, you'd be probably well trained in the use of sniper rifles, right?
That's also true.
I mean, I wouldn't say Webb or Amy could shoot one. That'd be weird. But like a soldier, yeah.
Now, anyone can shoot a sniper rifle. The question is, could they hit anything?
Yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Listen, I have a 4-to-1 KD on Sprawl of Duty, so
Just slap.
Okay, that's a possibility. So I could be using Trip's sniper rifle, trying to lure the guards away, while you three go in and try to get the containers.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it seem like a plan? Will you be going in, Webb? That's also a good question.
This is the thing, as like my expertise lies in getting into digital systems,
Mhm.
and this is why, if there were cranes around, I was thinking that the distractions could be me, manipulating some of their systems. Because I mean, it's cyberpunk, right? There wouldn't be people in those cranes; they'd be automated.
Well,
So
I mean,
I just get in
there's
there
a
and
load of
be like,
different sort of lights and cameras and all sorts of.
yeah, but a crane would be cool. If I get, if I
Look,
use a crane and pick up a thing and
Spend
start
the
swinging it
intel.
around.
Spend intel, and you've got a crane web.
There's plenty of shit that we need
We
to
heard there's
disable
drones.
But I want a
and we can
crane.
legitimize,
There's-
If you've
There's
played Half-Life
companies-
2, there's a fantastic crane section where you throw things around and it's great.
There's companies that deliver packages with drones, and we know there's drones in there. You could practically program the drones to just fly half of the stuff away.
So
Not a crane though.
if we if we decide that there are cranes and they are automated, then that opens up other possibilities,
Mhm.
like just going in there with the crane, not worrying about the guards, and just hauling the containers away.
All right, so reveal knowledge. That's what we're debating on whether or not you want to do. When you reveal your knowledge of the opposition's preparations, dispositions, or environment, describe how you discovered that information and spend intel. You must spend intel to reveal knowledge. Take +1 forward to exploit the opportunity offered by that information. This is the move for converting the info you dug up during the legwork phase into a concrete advantage.
You know what? It's great.
Careful now, because it will turn out that one of the guards practices origami, and the cranes there are just small paper birds on a table.
I need to be specific with my wording.
Massive origami.
Cranes. Yeah. No, it's actually a crane, like a proper crane, but it's just made of paper. And it's
Yeah.
origami.
So artwork.
But yeah, you know what? Because I did my research to be, how secure is this?
Yeah.
So I want my crane
All right.
because
Yeah.
I think it will be fun and cool.
Okay. Where is it?
And
Where is
I
the
would-
crane located, Webb?
I think because it's the docks, there would just be you know the way that the they have in that nowadays where it's the ship pulls up and then there's they slide this entire rig across and it's a crane that goes and drops it and then does that and it puts it all on rails and stuff.
Yeah. So it's on two
I think it
axes.
would be like that. So the entire yard is on the edges is there's
Yeah.
large lattice that a crane can just go all across and they can go down and pick up things and move it.
Yeah. So you got
Things
a y-axis and an x-axis.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's just sort of goes all along.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. Yeah. I don't need to ask
Yeah.
any questions because we know how you found this information, right? You just looked at video.
Yeah, I looked it up on
It's
the
like-
internet.
What's that?
the most obvious thing ever.
Yeah.
Like,
So okay, spend your
giant
intel. It's
crane.
there.
My
That's-
eyes light up with the possibilities.
Yeah. You've got your crane, Webb.
Success.
So that means that we could, position the trucks somewhere. We don't have to get in. Well, we have to get into the yard, but we don't have to get at those containers. If Webb can arrange that the containers are simply picked up and delivered to where the trucks are,
Yeah.
then the only thing we need to do is make sure that the guards do not follow the containers to the trucks.
Yeah.
Or-
But you need to
or-
get the
or
trucks
dissuade
onto
them from doing so.
the yard because the crane's limits are the yard's limits.
They don't have a rail going into the city next to my apartment.
No. No.
Yeah, it's an automated
That's-
Would
system.
you like
I
to
just-
spend
Yeah.
more
We're
intel
sitting-
now?
We're sitting in the back of this bionic pet store, and I just go, "Hang on a second." We wait for about an hour. Someone knocks on the door. So there's a giant crane's just dropped off all of this gear. Do you want it?
No, you'd have to get the trucks onto the compound, but you don't have to necessarily get the trucks next to the cargo, right? So that's something that's could be useful.
I mean, I wanted to
And
use the.
those cranes can only be accessed from within the compound, I would assume.
I would probably say that would be logical. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the compound itself is there's probably many of them. and there's probably like a command center.
Yeah,
where
I
you
think they're
could,
operating all that like these yards would operate on their own network basically, and then the network itself is connected to the matrix. So it's
Mhm.
different types of hubs.
Yeah.
So
But
there'd be some
there'd
sort
like
of control center, yeah, maybe like a little guard booth or something like that, right? It's not that
Yeah, but the cranes themselves are like, I would imagine, just completely
automated.
automated.
Absolutely,
It would be
yeah.
like request for
All you'd need to do is plug in
X
somewhere on the
free.
network, and you'd be able to hack
just
your
as
way to
a
the cranes.
general question, not to burst any bubbles, but if Taki is a medium-sized organization and he has a pretty small crew, how would you infiltrate this posing as one of the other guards, especially if there's only 4 on duty that evening?
No, so we don't have to do that. All we have to do is, because Taki only has a small part of the yard. That's where he sort of operates from. What we do is get into the yard with our 2 trucks. We're taking Webb. Webb will infiltrate the network and then build a barrier of containers first between us and Taki's people. And then simply lift Taki's containers over the barrier while the guards are, at the other side. And then we just drive off.
Yeah. So I
so
box
easy.
them in.
It sounds really simple.
I can see the wheels turning in your mind, Jexus.
No, yeah. I mean, to me, the solution is
You are
easy.
in transport. You have those trucks, don't you?
It's true. Okay.
What? Who? What? Who's in
Me?
transport?
Yeah, Amy.
I mean, I suspect Kawasumi could probably get trucks that big, but it needs to happen first. Like that's
in
not,
my mind, the
that's not-
deliveries are like
yeah, they're
packages.
small. It's like this is something discrete. It's
like-
not a shipping
like
container.
Amazon
Don't-
stuff, right?
I mean, generally, like a discrete.
I got you a
three
container full of
shipping
drugs.
I mean, like I should be earning more than 1 cred from that. If so, probably. So I think like that's probably a good place to cut, like to that maybe Jexus.
Get the truck. Or just to end the
Get
episode.
trucks.
Yeah, we could do. We could have you get the trucks, and then we'd be set for next session, I guess.
Yeah, I think we open like
Excuse
the
me.
scene opens. It's late at night. Amy Feedback is there with her collar turned up against the cold. Wait, no, it's oppressively hot. That's what we said, isn't it?
It's,
Well, I
it's
mean, deserts
sweltering.
get
It's
very
sweltering
cold at
heat
night.
now. No,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
it's
So the temperature has dropped tonight. Like normally it's like she's dressed for warmer weather, and that's why her collar is turned up, right, to try and protect her. And in front of us, we see reflections of neon on the inky black water of the river, rusted guardrail that runs underside this part of, sorry, not river, it's a part of a canal, artificial man-made canal. And Amy's standing taking shelter under the brickwork of the Lady Narcissa Bridge. And she's here to meet Kawasumi, who's her delivery driver. And I think Kawasumi's late.
is that a typical thing?
No,
Okay.
very, like, I mean, in deliveries.
Yeah. No, but I mean, is she usually late when she meets you?
Did I say Kawasumi was a lady?
Oh, I don't. I just assumed.
I don't remember. I probably didn't specify.
No, yeah. That's up to you.
I think of Kawasumi as being a dude.
All right.
All right. So when he shows, I guess Amy says, I've got some work for you, but it's not the normal sort of thing.
Is that
It's a
something?
bit bigger.
I'm sorry. Is that something you often request from Kawasumi?
Special requests?
Yeah.
No, not really.
All right.
I reckon but I'm like, we have an established business relationship.
Yeah.
Like, stuff works
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Um,
So how good is he at his job?
It was excellent.
All right.
Like, 2 out of 2 roles have been successful. I don't know what
Yeah,
you're
okay.
talking
Yeah.
about.
No, but I mean, it could be. I don't know.
Yeah, no, like, I think part of the reason it's been so successful is because Kawasumi knows his business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
He's well connected, he's discreet, he like drives, he's got the clearances to get access to stuff.
Yeah.
Which is like how this all works. I imagine it won't be easy for you, but it should work out profitable.
How big are we talking here?
Well, put it this way. It's 3 NX-13 shipping containers.
NX-13 shipping containers.
That's right.
NX-13. NX. NX. You're sure it's not GX?
Not NS, not DS.
He's like, what are you doing to me, Amy?
There's money in it.
There better be money in it.
More than usual. A lot more.
All right, so I think this is where you hit the streets.
Yeah, I think so. And I am at -1 to do this because of Taki fucking Kichi.
Are you, though?
Aren't I?
You are dealing with it.
Hardly. Or I mean, like, it's up to you. If you think it's unfair to punish me, like, both sides of this, cool, I'll take it. But
let's see.
Like, presumably,
yeah, no, you're turning him down. You're not. Yeah, so it's a -1. Yeah.
And I think presumably Takekichi has heard the whisperings of like people are looking for you, like there's a bit of heat on you, like,
yeah.
So that's going to affect how willing or able he is to do this. So how do I hit the street?
It says you roll style.
Yeah, cool. Forward. If I put -1 here,
that should work.
Not -10. That will wreck me.
That's a 10.
Yes.
Well done.
Perfect.
Right. So you get what you want. We'll cover that in a bit. And you get a little something extra. Choose either intel or gear.
I'm going to throw this out to the group. What do we think is more useful? I've already got 2 intel. I think maybe 1 more gear, right?
Yeah, something.
This is
I don't know,
broad gear,
extra.
right? This is not tacky gear. This is gear.
This could be whatever gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, go with gear.
Okay, cool.
Okay. He's like, you know what? I think I know. He starts to smile. He's like, yeah, this might work out, Amy. I'll get back to you. And he sort of chuckles as he walks away. And I think, like a couple days later, you get a message saying, "Come outside."
And yeah, I think Amy does, like, bemusedly, because this is not normal.
Yeah, and
he built an extension of the crane to Amy's office.
Yeah.
No, that does not happen.
So did you want to take? Speaking difficult. Did you want to take out? Get a truck that carries out all 3 of the containers?
I think I leave that to Kawasumi. I
Right.
think I think he knows more about this than I do.
Yeah.
Like
So
I
you,
know vaguely, like
yeah.
I know enough to understand what he's doing, but I couldn't make the fine-grained decisions.
He,
Right?
I think when you go outside and go downstairs or whatever, he's standing there waiting for you. He's like, "Follow me," and he's got this smug little smile on his face, and he leads you to some sort of like a backwards, like a back parking lot type thing, and there's this huge truck standing there, with the with spaces for 2 containers. And he's like, I know you needed 3, but you want to get away with that thing, right? 3 is not mobile. 2 will suit you perfectly. Also, I left you a little something in the front seat. Enjoy. And then he walks off.
My God, JC, a bomb.
And mechanically, like part of the established relationship between Kawasumi and Amy Feedback is that Kawasumi is the driver, right?
Mhm.
But would he have got that from our conversation that he was going to be driving this beast of a vehicle?
I didn't
Or
get it,
not?
but if that's what you wanted, yes, he will.
That's what I wanted. I mean,
Yeah.
like maybe there
No,
can be
yeah.
someone else in the cab. Those cabs are pretty big, but
No, yeah, definitely.
like that's what we're paying. Like, yeah, okay, getting the vehicle, but also doing the delivery.
Yeah, but yeah, he leaves that thing there, and he'll be there once you need him. But he makes an extravagant exit. Basically, he's like, I did this for you. There you go.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Cool. So I definitely pick up the package that's inside the cab. What does it cost?
What does what cost?
My hit the streets, like I just made all this promise about like you'll get paid, and
He takes a cut from what you sell, right?
Right. I thought so. It's like you don't want money up front, do you? You just want a percentage. Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll split it 5 ways.
I mean, you said there's money for you in it. I think he assumes you're gonna be.
He assumes it's not.
You need a truck for a reason, right? It's just it's gonna be
cool. Cool.
I think that's where we fade to black on this episode.
Yeah, I think we see Amy opening the package. Like she pulls out a pocket knife and cuts the tape around the outside of it and flips it open, and you just see like the glee on her face. But we don't get to see what's inside the box, of course.
All right, cool. All right, that was fun. No, it's okay. I was thinking it feels weird to me that there's no sort of end of session XP wrap up thing for this game. It's there's something inside of me. It's like
I mean, we can go over our directives.
Yeah, like, but they haven't really come up, right? It's
next time.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, well, I mean, yeah. The only thing I can come up with that may have come up is Webb's discover more information about Praise B, but he didn't, so no XP, right? Because you failed the role. Yeah, okay. No, we'll continue this in 2 weeks' time, and then not on the Monday, but we'll switch back to the Wednesday. So that would be Wednesday the 14th of December, which is when we'll be continuing Ashes to Ashes, Rome to Rust. Yeah, let's do some outros. Let's start with someone. God, where's my? I've lost all. Yes, Fub. Who are you? Where can we find you? What do you do? Is there anything else that you would like to say?
I do lots of stuff, but
professionally.
Well, I am a professional. But in terms of this game, I have 2 remarks to make. The first is that the PDF of this game, the Sprawl, is actually today 50% off. I've put the link in chat. So check that out. Also, keep an eye on my Twitter account, which is fupfupfup, because three character usernames are not allowed there for some weird reason. I've been making some sort of computer screen GIFs for this, which I enjoy doing, and link to session reports, etc. So check that out.
Cool, thanks. Uthor, what about you?
I don't do anything but play video games and play this every 2 weeks. I turn up in Bionic Gamers chat from time to time, and I ban people. No, but it's a lot of fun playing this. Figuring out again, we're still like figuring out the system, trying to get that last sort of grip on it, but we're managing to incorporate the role playing into it now. We've got sort of more of a tangible understanding of each of our characters and the life that we've breathed into them. So I'm looking forward to the next session. It'll be a lot of fun.
Cool.
Hack the planet!
I was waiting for it. He just every goddamn time. Vaden, help us out.
Well, I have the same as Huthor in this sense. I have my professional life, but besides that, I don't do much online. I like to game. I'd like to remind people that this Thursday is the Video Game Awards. If anyone has the spare time, go and watch it. So I think the lineup this year is a little bit boring, but it's the Video Game Awards.
Yeah. Cool. Alex.
Thanks, Jexis, and thanks to the three of everyone, actually. Thanks to everyone. I really enjoy playing the Sprawl with you guys. It feels like we never quite play long enough, and then the gap is like just too long. I would love it if we could, like, if schedules permitting, we somehow manage to play every week. I know that's not really a possibility for whatever reason, but I love the world. I love the more we're learning about our characters, it's starting to get super interesting. I like the way various NPCs are getting their hooks into us, and we're trying to unhook them or draw them deeper in, like reverse the cat and mouse game that they seem to be playing. What do I do online? I am an artist and a maker of things. The best way to keep up with me is to follow me on Twitter. My username is fake_Alex_blue. And yeah, like, I'm planning very tentatively of running an Apocalypse World campaign that will be set in Purgatory. So
cool.
Yeah, if you are interested in finding out more about that and getting updates, best place to do that is on my Twitter. Yeah, it's been a real pleasure.
Thanks. I am Jexis Alain, Jexis 1985, depending on where you look. I am a gamer and translator of things. And sorry, Alex. Follow me on Twitter, Jexis Alain. Follow me on Twitch, Jexis 1985. I've just started a new character in Bloodborne, and by God, I will try to finish that game. Follow the adventure. Yeah, follow the adventures of Aloysius PhD.
Your reward for that will be me going into Nightbot and changing your stream from has completed Bloodborne.
Yeah, exactly.
That's your reward to work towards.
So if you're interested in a monster hunting ornithologist, proctologist, give me a follow and be updated on when and if I go live.
Will there always be sassy commentary from Mrs. Jexis?
Not always, unfortunately. I know it makes the stream a lot better, but I can't expect her to sit there and watch.
We'll try to make up for her.
That's good. That's it for the Sprawl. Massive thanks to Baronic Gamer for allowing me to host this on his channel. I hope I did well, Byronic. I'm sorry if I messed things up. I'm not at
Wherever
that.
you are, Byronic.
Wherever
if you're
you
out
are,
there, if you can hear the sound of our voice.
Keep
blink.
breathing. Yeah, that's it. I want to wish everyone a good night, or a good day, or a good morning, depending on wherever you are, and hack the planet and so forth. Goodbye, guys.
Don't blink.
Breathing. Yeah, that's it. I want to wish everyone.